My heart hasn't beat since last night. I am so tense.
Yes.
What a ball game. I also want to officially start today's show by extending an invitation to Bull, if he would so graciously accept. Would like to invite you into the official Guardians fan club. You are here.
I appreciate it. I was going bananas when Bybee was in trouble in the second. I'm like, get the bullpen up! What is happening here? I'm on Twitter freaking out like a lunatic. Why is nobody warming up? And Zach Meisel texts me, Kate Smith's warming up. They didn't show it on the broadcast.
No, they never even talked about someone being up. And by the way, I thought, let him settle in. He struggled in game one a little bit.
Right, but he settled in the second inning in game one.
Now,
and this game, he couldn't even throw a fastball over the plate.
Well, when it was bases loaded and he walked two, I was extremely nervous. And I said, this is his last hitter if he doesn't get an out.
Yeah.
He got the out in exchange for the run and then the double play. And
Which
then I said,
huge.
okay, let's see what we can get out of him.
Talk about the bunt. The bunt and the slide.
Zachary, you just texted it.
Like you just said that.
I mentioned that this morning on the Guardian show that Jay texted sacrifice. They're not going to I think your exact text was, they're not going to sack bunt because he just hit a home run, or like,
or
they wouldn't have, or are they? Yeah.
Well, what's
as suicide squeeze, not sack bunt.
How many times in sports do you get a mulligan?
Yeah.
Are you at the same crossroads you were in a previous situation and you have a chance to be aggressive?
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of discussion, and I was having chat exchanges with a lot of friends, you guys among them.
Yeah.
On the show after the Game 2 loss, I said the one big opportunity I think we missed was not sacrifice bunting in the situation where they had first and third, and you've got a home run hitter at the plate in Fry, but who knows? And I said, I wish we would have sacrificed bunted.
Yeah.
And then here we are again, exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
First and third, one out, Fry's at the plate.
Yeah.
I know, I didn't learn this until after the game, and they asked him, he said, I've only bunted 1 year, and it was turned into a double play.
Right.
So I didn't think they were going to ask me to do it.
Well, what happened was, by the way, so I spoke to Zach this morning because we did the Guardian show. Zach said that right before he came to the plate, because it was a pinch hitting appearance.
Right, it was.
No, I'm sorry.
It was.
No, the pinch hit was the home run.
That's right.
Right. But right before he came to the plate, Stephen Vogt went to David Fry and said, can you get a bunt down? He asked him that right before the at-bat.
Which is a good way to, you love to do that.
Yes.
Gauge.
And what I love is he clearly said, I've got you, Skip.
He said, apparently what he said to Vogt was, I wasn't a good hitter in high school, so yeah, I can get bunts down.
That's pretty funny.
And he did.
I can't imagine David Fry not being a good hitter in high school,
that's what he said. Maybe as a freshman. I don't know.
They needed every bit of that run.
Oh.
I know for a fact. Y'all was sitting there thinking, when they was up, I was like, oh, no, we need another one. There's no way.
Well, and they almost got it.
Yeah.
I said that.
They almost got it. Colt Keith robs Andres Jimenez on that. And that was the only ball Jimenez has hit hard the whole postseason.
What was crazy, Bull, is, and it was at that moment where for the first time in the series I started thinking, Detroit's a team of fate. They're a team of destiny, because Will hits a ball that hits the yellow line.
I know.
So we missed the run by inches there. Yeah. Then the ground ball that clearly would have scored Brennan from second.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable play. The way he elevated his glove.
It popped up, and he kind of reaches behind him and up.
That's an all-time. That's an all-time play.
Usually when you dive, you keep the trajectory of the ball. Before you dive, you look at where you're going.
Yeah.
And you kind of do the calculus in your mind in real time of where you need to put the glove. What was impressive to me about that was after he had left his feet, he never took his eye off the ball, and he saw when it came up a little bit more than he expected.
Yep.
He snatches his glove up and gets it, and I thought, uh-oh.
That was unbelievable.
We're going to need that run.
Yes, and I thought, off the bat, I thought Brendan hit it out.
I did too.
And then it looked like Perez was going to catch it.
He was closing hard, and I thought, maybe it might get off the wall, but when they showed the replay and you see the ball hit the yellow, you're like, oh, no, this is not supposed to be.
I asked Zach this morning. He said he wasn't sure because he actually didn't look at it either. I was like, I wonder if Brennan wasn't running hard, because I was thinking he should be on third. That should be a triple.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
I doubt that he's not the kind that would dog it on the box. I think he was giving it all he had.
I think
fortunately it didn't matter.
The other time I thought that the Tigers was about to win is when Clausse comes in, right? He's throwing 101.
Yeah.
They got a guy, I don't even know who he is. He turns on a 101-mile-an-hour pitch, smacks it down the line for a double. And I'm like, who is this guy?
That was Justin Henry Malloy to start the ninth inning.
I was like, I was sick a little bit. I was like, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And it was kind of similar with Clase again. Like, he was, he gives up the double, as you said, to Justin Henry Malloy to start the inning. But then he settled right in. That strikeout to get Sweeney to end the eighth.
Oh, my God.
That was big, obviously.
I'm not a body language expert. He was nervous, to me.
They were definitely nervous in this game.
Looked nervous. I thought Stephen Vogt looked extremely nervous.
Oh, my God. He looked very nervous.
He just had the look of a guy who was being asked for if he'd like one more cigarette.
And Bybee, like every 10 seconds.
I know.
I
know. Which is okay. That's a cleansing move. You want to get rid of that energy. But he was doing it a lot.
Is Carl Willis officially Yoda? Because when he went out there, I mean, it's crazy because he settled down, and now you know he gave the home run. But
I don't know how much we've talked about this in the vein of Francona taking the Reds job. I know I said it on Channel 3. I may have said it here or not. The critical offseason move is whether or not Carl Willis comes back to the Guardians or joins his buddy in Cincinnati. Whatever he wants, I'm backing up the Brinks truck. He's worth every penny and probably more.
We are not about to go down the Bill Callahan line of thinking.
Can't lose him.
No. We saw how that letting guys out of their contract nicely don't work well for us.
Well, Francona's his buddy, but it's not his son. That's a difference.
I know, but they're tight.
Yeah, they are.
They're very tight.
Carl Willis is old. He may just want to finish his career here. Who knows?
Hope. My goodness.
I don't know. But I don't want to lose him. But
one other thing, are we going to come back to Guardians, or are we going to
we're sticking with Guardians still.
Yeah.
I'm about to do a read and stick with the Guardians.
Okay, great.
Hey, one last thing. I wonder how many steps he got on the step counter yesterday. Talking about Carl Willis. He was just back and forth to the mound all day.
He was making trips.
All night. He was making trips. Let's get into it. The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the NFL season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, live play-by-play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/UCSS. Never waste a hunch and make every moment with FanDuel, an official sports book partner of the NFL.
Guys, when, for all the plays we've talked about a lot of big plays at the end of the game. To me, it gets a little lost based on the way the game ended. But Lane Thomas getting that RBI single in the first inning, because Quan's been unbelievable in this series. He looks like the guy from the first half of the season.
Which we said he had to be for them to make a run.
He's hitting 500.
It's unreal.
So they get back-to-back hits to start the inning. And then Jose ripped that one down the line. You thought it might be a 3-run homer at Hook's foul.
Yeah.
He ends up popping up.
Jose's hitting the ball well.
Yeah, he hit a home run, which was good. But Naylor had a really terrible at-bat in the first inning. Struck out some bad pitches. But they hadn't scored in 20 runs.
Right, 20 innings.
And when Lane Thomas comes up with 2 outs after they have first and second, nobody out. Now it's first and second, 2 outs. And I'm like, I'm talking, Aaron's sitting next to me. I'm like, dude, Aaron, he's got to get a hit.
They had to score there.
They have to calm everybody down. Yep. You got to relax. This streak of consecutive innings without scoring has to end. They need this run. And thankfully, I thought that was massive.
It's a great point, Bull. It was lost in all the drama because there was so much that happened. There was so much that happened after that. But I was talking to some friends yesterday before the game, and I said it is imperative that the Guardians not just score first, but that they score in the first inning.
Yes.
Put a lid on the crowd. Now, they fought their way back every time. This Detroit team's got moxie.
Yes, they do.
Which is why they scared me so much. They are not quite aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just going out there. It's a bunch of guys. It's a bunch of guys that are getting big hits in big spots.
Yeah.
One after another. Now, Clase was not great, but he was obviously better than he was in Game 2.
Yeah.
And I do feel comfortable that if we need him tomorrow to close out the series, I think he's going to be fine. I looked the Scooble splits up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find anything that I can sink my teeth into here that would say, this is possible. I wanted to see specifically, I think the Yankees clinching their series helped the Guardians immensely. Why? It put the Guardians in prime time Saturday night. Mm-hmm. If the Yankees series had still been going,
they play at 4.
They would have had the prime time, and Scooble would have had the benefit of the shadows again. Mm-hmm. Remember, we talked about that before Game 2. The one thing that terrified me, and as it worked out, I'm literally right behind home plate. I've got the same viewpoint as the hitter.
Right. Now it'll be dark when the game starts.
It's going to be dark. The lights will be on.
Right.
And I think that is a huge benefit to the
I didn't
Guardians.
really think about that. That's a good point.
And Bull,
yeah.
You've always heard the announcers talk about the shadows in October.
Sure.
They're not in play when the sun is high in the regular season. But in October, when the angle of the sun is low, you get weird shadows. There was a point in the game where the ball actually went from dark to light to dark.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
And
against the best pitcher in baseball.
Against the best pitcher in baseball. And I'm watching it, and it's the same thing I said for the 15-inning game against the Rays in 22.
Oh, yeah.
I said, this game is going to go forever, and it's going to end on a fluky error because you can't see the baseball.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes from dark to light or light to dark, but with Scooble the other day, just the way the stadium is configured and the light standards and the shadows, there was a point where it was going dark, light, dark. And it was like someone's flipping a light switch on and off, and you're trying to hit a baseball that's coming in at 95. Now, I know we had that advantage too.
Sure.
But Scooble, who is already Cy Young, becomes that much better. The one thing I found that I think is encouraging for Guardians fans, he is, and the night and day splits are almost identical. 2.42 ERA in the day. He's actually better at night, 2.37. But the road splits to home splits, as you might expect, are pretty dramatic. He's 10-1 with a 1.99 ERA at home. He's 8-3 with a 2.86 ERA on the road.
So he's very good.
He's great
on the road.
He's great.
He's just absurd at home.
He's not unhittable.
He's unhittable at the crib.
Yeah. Now he did pitch it in Cleveland
here,
the first time.
but he had the benefit of the shadows.
By the way, you want to let me give you a stat that basically sums up how insane baseball is. Austin Hedges in his career, who will start this game, I'm predicting, and I am in favor of it, believe it or not.
I am too.
Is a 300 hitter lifetime against Tarek Skubal.
Are you kidding me?
Worst hitter in baseball is a 300 hitter in his career against the best pitcher in baseball.
I can't imagine there's many
He's
guys
3 for
that
10.
have a higher average. I know that's a small sample size.
But still, Skubal hasn't been around that long. It's not like a guy's got a million at bats against him.
I never would have expected that.
Are they going to start the right-handed bat?
Yes, 100%.
They will, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
Fry will be batting second.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
By the way, I know they're not going to do it. I got one guy we haven't mentioned at all who deserves a lot of credit, Brian Rocchio. He's putting up good at-bats. I would say after Quan, he's been their best player.
What is he hitting for the series? Around 500, I think.
Well, Quan's hitting 500.
I know, but I think Rocchio is right there with him.
I think his on-base is 500 because he's walked a lot. But even his outs have been good, hard-fought at-bats.
And I'm like, how the heck did you take that pitch? He took a couple of pitches that was
close with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that's
By the
tight.
way, before the Fry homer, if you remember, he was down 0-2
and walked.
Well, no. I'm saying
because he was down 0-2 at one point and worked the walk.
No. When Fry hit the home run, I'm talking about the at bat when Fry hit the home run.
Yeah, okay.
He was down 0-2, and that third pitch missed the strike zone by an inch.
Oh, I know it did. And
it was a ball, and the whole game could have been different.
Did you guys see the mashup of the home plate umpire for Game 2? It's another thing I really wanted to circle back on today.
He was terrible.
So again, I was behind home plate, and I think I've got a great vantage point.
Yeah.
The last strike, by the way, which ended the game, I'm yelling from the suite. That was 4 inches low, Blue. That was I was on him for 30 seconds. He had to walk right by us because the umpire exit is right behind home plate, and the suite I was in was right next to that. And I'm asking him, "Where's your date, Blue? Why the hurry? Where are you going?" And he kind of smirked. I know he heard me. I saw a mashup yesterday. He called 17 pitches that were out of the strike box strikes. So they were balls.
Yeah.
He called them strikes.
And the
last pitch was 3.08 inches below the strike zone.
Wow, I thought it was more than that. But
I did too. I'm yelling, Blue, that's 4 pitches.
But 3 inches is a lot.
3 inches is a baseball low, out of the zone.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was horrible. Most of those calls, by the way, benefited the Tigers.
Yeah.
So to that point, I think the Guardians have to focus on what they can control. There's no way that guy gets the plate assignment again. Not going to happen. So that is out of their things to worry about.
Yeah.
And also the fact that they're not going to have to deal with the shadows. That is out of their list of concerns. So I know he's Cy Young. I know he's awesome. I know he loves this stage. But I almost feel like he regretted some of his antics.
He did.
Before the Game 3 interview, the first thing he was asked about was, him really showing his emotion at Progressive Field. The first thing he said was, yeah, I let my emotions get the best of me, and I won't do that again.
Right. Which is fine. I mean, listen, I don't blame him.
Baseball.
Yeah.
But you know he's going to hear it.
Sure.
And they're going to be on him hard and early to make sure that they sort of get into his head. And same thing as Game 4, Guardians got to score right away.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if – I think we'll all be surprised if this is not a low-scoring game in Game 5. And the Guardians haven't decided who they're starting yet. Obviously, we'll talk more about that. I'm going with Matthew Boyd.
I am too. And I feel okay about it.
He pitched very well.
I'm not.
Why not?
I'll tell you after we do a read.
Oh,
okay, I want to know
look at
who
that
you're going to
tease.
start. I mean, you got to look at rest.
Gavin Williams.
You've got that he's a possibility.
So why you? I'm asking the experts, but I do have an opinion on who I
Go
think
ahead.
the Guardians should start.
I think that would be the likely contender.
Yeah.
But I just think Matthew Boyd pitched well enough to earn the Game 5 start. His leash is this big.
Yeah.
And
I'd have Gavin Williams ready to go potentially.
I would tell Gavin, prepare like you're starting.
Yeah.